How are you feeling today? Have you ever met someone who, right from the very first days, made everything feel strangely effortless? She texted first. She asked whether you had eaten, whether you had slept, and whether your day had been good. She laughed more whenever she talked to you. Her eyes sparkled more when she looked at you, and her voice made you feel important in a very particular way. You thought, maybe this time, I've really met the right person. You didn't dare to say it out loud, but inside, you had already started to open the door. For the first time in a long while, you allowed yourself to hope. You imagined something serious, a future that could begin from those early messages. But then, like a strange gust of wind, she suddenly became distant. The message you sent was seen but not answered. The conversations that used to stretch until midnight now became short, cold lines. Yesterday, she said she really liked your energy. Today, she disappeared from your life as if she had never existed. No sign, no explanation, no reason. And you sit with yourself asking, is it possible that I'm not enough? What did I do wrong? Why is the person who seemed most interested always the one who leaves the fastest? You try to be kinder, you try to be more patient, you give more, but the harder you try, the more you feel like you're holding on to something that was never yours to begin with. That feeling is not just sadness. It is a kind of emptiness that strikes deep into a man's sense of self-worth. A feeling that is very hard to put into words, but one that every man has experienced at least once in his life. But what if I told you that what you think is being abandoned, being ghosted, being treated unfairly, is actually just a very small part of the picture? That behind a woman's behavior, whether gentle or abrupt, there always exists a powerful psychological mechanism that most men have never seen. And only when you understand that mechanism will you stop seeing a woman's disappearance as something that is your fault. What hurts men is not that a woman leaves. What hurts men is not knowing why she leaves. We often think that women choose or abandon a man based purely on emotion. Liking means staying, and no longer liking means leaving. But the truth is far more nuanced. Women do not love only with their hearts. They love with their intuition, with their emotional needs, and with their perception of the value a man brings into their lives. Not monetary value, not physical appearance, but a very instinctive feeling. This man has something I am looking for. Sometimes what she seeks is safety, a shoulder that allows her to breathe out after a long, exhausting day. Sometimes it is understanding, someone sensitive enough to hear what she is not saying. Sometimes it is decisiveness, ambition, or inner magnetism, a kind of energy that makes her feel inspired. And sometimes it is simply the emptiness inside her that needs to be filled by a new emotion. Every woman comes to a man with a very personal need, a need that sometimes even she herself does not fully understand. But when that need shifts, or when she no longer sees in you the thing that made her come close in the first place, the bond begins to crack. It's not that you became worse, not that you were wrong, certainly not that you were unworthy. It is simply that her emotional need has shifted into a different form. And just like when a song that once moved you suddenly no longer makes you want to listen, she quietly walks away when she no longer feels the value she seeks from you. No noise, no chaos, no drama, just a very natural psychological shift. But the sad thing is, men tend to attribute the entire change to themselves. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe she found someone better. Maybe I'm lacking something, while the root lies elsewhere. In the emotional selection mechanism that all women operate on, whether they know it or not, in the value they perceive, not the value you think you possess. And when men understand this, many pains become easier to breathe through, because then you realize her disappearance says nothing about your true worth. It only speaks about her needs. Her needs changed, so the connection changed. As simple as that. This is the part many men will not want to hear. But once you do, you will understand why you tried so hard, were so sincere, and still we were not chosen. Kindness is a beautiful thing, but it is not what creates attraction. It is not what makes someone's heart beat faster. It is not what makes a woman look at you and think, "This man, I cannot lose." Kindness makes you appreciated, but attraction is what makes you desired. And women, just like men, are always drawn toward the things that make them feel the strongest emotional pull, not the predictable ones, not the overly nice ones, but those who carry within themselves a kind of value that she can clearly feel. This explains why some men are gentle, polite, responsive to every need, always available, yet remain invisible. She sees them as friends, or worse, as temporary comfort when she is tired, but never as the man she truly wants to be with. Meanwhile, there are men who don't treat her as well as you do, aren't as thoughtful as you, aren't as patient or gentle, yet they make women deeply attracted, not because they are better, but because they emit clearer signals of value, a bit of strength, a bit of unpredictability, a bit of ambition, a bit of confidence in their eyes, in their walk, and in their sense of direction. From a psychological perspective, humans, both men and women, are drawn to survival and emotional value signals. Those signals can come from self-possession, independence, direction, the ability to evoke emotion, or simply the kind of presence that makes others want to come closer. Kindness, anyone can be kind. But value is not something everyone possesses. Value makes you different. Value creates the sense of being chosen. Value makes a woman look at you and think, "This man can take me further." That is why men who rely solely on kindness often fail. Not because they are not good enough, but because they lack what makes a woman's heart move, not just appreciate. And when there is no attraction, a woman will be kind to you, but her heart will move in another direction. This is not unfair. It is simply how human psychology operates. She is not trying to hurt you. She is simply following her perception of value. The most painful part is not that you were rejected. The most painful part is that you once believed kindness was enough, but it turns out it never touched the place where she decides to stay. There is a paradox many men never consider, that the more you try to give, the more you try to prove you are worthy, the more you use sacrifice to keep a woman from leaving, the more you lose the very thing that is most precious, your value. It is not because women do not appreciate what you do. It is because human psychology operates by a very strange rule. What is received too easily is quickly devalued, especially in love. You may think, whatever she wants, I'll fulfill. Whatever she needs, I'm ready. As long as she's happy, I'll do anything. But sometimes, that very effort makes you predictable, easy to grasp, and easy to possess, and ultimately, easy to replace. A man who exhausts himself proving his worth gradually loses his natural masculine essence, stability, independence, direction, and the mystery that created attraction in the first place. Because while you place her at the center of your world, she is watching to see whether you still have a world of your own. There is a story many successful men have lived through. They were once attractive when they were full of ambition, passion, and movement. Women came to them because they saw a fire in their eyes, the thing that made her feel safe, inspired, and drawn toward the future. But then, when they achieved everything, when they poured all the value that once made them attractive into giving to the woman they loved, when they became too available, too accommodating, too focused on her, that fire slowly dimmed. You didn't change for the worse. You just stopped glowing. And women sense that very quickly. Not because she wants you to struggle or stay busy to maintain value, but because she was drawn to your potential, your journey, the road ahead, not the destination where you now stand still. When you give everything, when you fulfill her needs too quickly, when every desire is satisfied immediately, the excitement disappears, the curiosity disappears, the initial spark of attraction disappears. A relationship does not fade because two people change, but because the tension between wanting and having is cut off, because humans, anyone, cannot sustain intense feelings towards something they feel they fully possess. And so, the more you give, the less she feels. The more you try to hold on, the easier it is for her to let go. But the most painful part is not that the woman leaves you. The most painful part is not understanding why you gave so much, yet lost everything in the end. In love, there is a rule very few people talk about, but it operates quietly in every relationship. When you give too little, she feels a lack, but when you give too much, she loses her emotional sensitivity. And the irony is that men usually fall into one of these two extremes, without realizing they are diminishing their own natural attractiveness. If you give too little, she feels you are not investing, not serious, and not valuing the connection. Women need to feel seen, cared for, and appreciated. If that is absent, distance begins to form, and she will seek a place that can fill that emotional gap. But if you give too much, everything becomes too full, too fast, and too easy. Human beings, by nature, do not cherish what they receive instantly. They cherish what they reach gradually. A relationship functions like breathing. There must be an inhale and an exhale. There must be space for two people to miss each other. There must be a bit of a lack of emotion to settle. When you pour all your attention in, when you fulfill every need immediately, when you are always available, when you leave no mystery or space for yourself, the relationship loses its rhythm. It becomes heavy, fast, and suffocating. Not because you did something wrong, but because humans cannot sustain passion for something that appears too often and too easily. Imagine you are very hungry, and someone hands you a delicious meal. You will savor the first bites. But if they force you to keep eating constantly, endlessly, until you no longer feel anything, then that same dish, the one you once craved, becomes something you dread. Love works the same way. A long-lasting connection is not one without lack, but one where both people know how to give and receive in the right rhythm. Women do not leave because you gave too little, and they do not leave because you gave too much. They leave when the sense of balance disappears. Balance between being cared for and having personal space, between satisfaction and curiosity, between what she has and what she still wants to discover in you. Because love is not built on enough. Love is built on just right. Just enough to feel safe. Just a bit lacking to feel longing. Far enough to want to come closer. Close enough to feel warmth. When men understand this rhythm, they stop trying excessively and begin learning how to show up the right way. Not too little and not too much. A presence that makes a woman feel held, yet still want to explore deeper layers of who you are. And it is precisely that, just right, that keeps a relationship alive for a very long time. When people talk about value, many immediately think of money, material things, or social status. But in the psychology of attraction, Value is not only found in what can be seen with the eyes, it lies in the emotions you create in the mind of the person in front of you. A woman comes close to you not only because of who you are, but because she feels you can bring something meaningful to her inner world. And just like every relationship in life, love, no matter how much we romanticize it, is still an exchange of value. But that is not a cold calculation. It is the way humans connect, the way humans seek the feeling of being fulfilled, being safe, and living in alignment with their emotional needs. Some people seek emotional value, listening, gentleness, understanding. They want a safe harbor, someone who makes them feel truly seen. Some seek the value of safety, a man who is steady, purposeful, and capable of protecting. Not protecting with muscles, but with stability and maturity in thought. Some seek social value, how you stand within a group, how others perceive you. They feel more confident walking beside you. Some seek experiential value, novelty, surprise, and the interesting stories only you can bring. You are not just a lover, but a key that unlocks emotions they have never touched before. Some are drawn to physical value and genetic signals, strength, discipline, masculine energy, not mere physical beauty, but a signal of vitality. And there are those who seek wounded value. You appear at the moment they are hurting, and you become a refuge to help them heal an old pain. Each woman seeks a different type of value, and the painful truth is, you cannot be everything for everyone when you do not carry the specific value she is looking for. No matter how good, how kind, or how hard you try, the relationship still cannot go far. This says nothing about you. It only speaks about her needs. And when two people exchange mismatched value, the connection becomes loose. One gives too much. One receives too much. One hopes, one withdraws. One looks forward, one grows doubtful. Many relationships fall apart not because there is no love, but because the value exchange is unbalanced. One person always feels lacking, the other always feels overwhelmed. From friend zone to ghosting to her sudden change in attitude, they all stem from a value mismatch. You offer one thing, she is seeking something else. Only when you understand this value model will you stop blaming yourself, because you will realize what you bring was simply not the right thing for the person you gave it to. It is not that you are wrong. It is not that she is wrong. It is simply that the two of you are seeking two different emotional realities. In the past, a woman might meet only a handful of men at school, at work, or within her social circle. But now, with just a phone, she can come across hundreds, even thousands of male models, all within a few taps. Not to love, but to compare. That is not her fault. It is the natural mechanism when humans face too many options. They begin evaluating everything by the optimal standard. And when the comparison mindset is activated, your value, no matter how real or beautiful, is unintentionally placed beside countless images of other men out there. More successful, more handsome, richer, more charismatic, or simply bolder in their expression. Social media does not make women more demanding. It only makes them more aware of how many options they might have. The feeling is like walking into a buffet. Even if the dish in front of you is delicious, you still tend to look at what is on the other tables. And so, appreciation declines. Not because the dish is bad, but because your mind keeps drifting toward the possibilities you have not tasted. Modern women are the same. Not because they are shallow, not because they are calculating, but because their environment constantly places them in a state of evaluating value. A simple like from a stranger can make her realize she still has options. A compliment online can trigger the feeling of, I deserve more. Another man simply texting at the right moment can make her question her current relationship. And you, no matter how good you are, can easily be dimmed in a world where attention is a currency. The saddest part is, a genuine relationship can be defeated not by a third person, but by the illusion of choice, where the thought maybe someone better exists always hovers in her emotional space. That is why many women leave gently, not because you are not enough, but because the world around them keeps telling them you can find someone more suitable. Social media makes everything easier, but it also makes inner peace harder. And in this modern value competition, men are not only competing with their true selves, but also with the idealized images of countless men out there. Men who appear for only a few seconds on a screen, but enough to make her waver. It is not that she has changed. It is not that you have changed. It is that the world has changed how we perceive each other. When a woman leaves, the thing that hurts men the most is not the breakup. Not that she chose someone else, not even the sudden silence. What hurts men is not knowing why she changed, not knowing why all his efforts became meaningless, not knowing why he loved the right way, was kind the right way, sincere the right way, yet still not enough to make someone stay. The moment a man begins blaming himself is the moment his heart falls into a very dark space. You know that feeling, right? The feeling of looking at your phone every day, wondering which sentence you said wrong, what thing you did wrong. The feeling of silently comparing yourself to another man, the one you think has something more than you. The helplessness of not knowing what to do to change an outcome that has already happened. And then men fall into a very familiar spiral that few admit. Self-doubt, lowered self-worth, loss of faith in love. No one teaches men how to endure emotional pain. No one teaches men that rejection sometimes has nothing to do with their qualities. No one tells men that they have the right to be weak, the right to be sad, and the right to be hurt. So men often choose silence, hide their pain in their work, hide their disappointment behind social smiles, hide their loneliness under a cold exterior, and hide their heartbreak in long sleepless nights. They become more guarded, harder to open up, more afraid to love, more afraid of being left again. Some become so realistic they turn cold. Some become rigid, unable to express emotion. Some begin to believe that love is an unfair game, but deep inside, this is only a defense mechanism of a heart that once gave too much and was abandoned without understanding why. The saddest truth is, men are not emotionless. They simply do not know how to express emotion in the way the world expects. And a broken love, if not understood correctly, can leave wounds that last a very long time. Wounds that make men retreat into themselves, even lose the strongest version of who they are. Not because they are weak, but because they once loved with everything they had, and still do not know why it was not enough. There is something men only truly understand. After they have loved deeply enough and hurt enough, value is not something you try to show to make others see it. Value is something you become. It is not in the things you say, not in the things you buy, not in chasing someone to prove you are worthy. It lies in the way you live, quietly, steadily, with inner strength. A man is truly attractive only when he no longer asks, "How do I make her choose me?" but begins asking, "Am I living as the kind of man that even I would respect?" When that question shifts, his entire life shifts with it. Your value appears in the smallest moments. In the way you keep your word, in the way you rise after failure, in the discipline you hold on the days no one is watching. Women do not only look at your success, they look at your trajectory. Are you moving upward, or have you stopped? A man who grows day by day, even quietly, has his own kind of light, not loud, not boastful, but perceptible. That light comes from within, not from trying to become someone that fits her. Men lose value when they lose themselves, when they place their entire world on the shoulders of one woman, when every joy, plan, and goal revolves around keeping someone from leaving, when they forget they once had dreams, ambitions, and paths of their own. An attractive man is not the one who is available all the time. He is the one whose life is full enough that a woman wants to step into it, not the one trying desperately to step into someone else's life. Keeping your value is not indifference and not coldness. Keeping your value is loving without sacrificing yourself, being close without clinging, caring without pleading. You create space for her, but also keep your own. You give, but do not empty yourself. You love, but do not lose your direction. And one day, you will realize when you live aligned with your strongest nature, you no longer fear someone leaving. Because you understand, your value does not depend on the choice of a woman. Your value comes from the journey you are on, from the way you stand firm, from the character you build bit by bit. When you understand this, love is no longer a place where you go to prove you are good enough, but a place you enter to share the best of yourself. Not because you are trying to shine, but because you already are the light. If you have listened until this moment, I believe there is a part of you that wants to step into a new chapter of your life. A chapter where you no longer let old pain lead the way. A chapter where you walk as a man who knows exactly where his value lies. And that journey begins right here. Do something for yourself right now while your heart is still trembling from what you just heard. Write a commitment to yourself in the comments. Not a commitment to me, but to the stronger version of you, the one waiting to live truthfully. Just one sentence, but it must be a sentence you are willing to take responsibility for in the rest of your life. And if you feel this video touched a place you once hid very deeply, hit follow immediately. Not to support me, but to make sure you never lose yourself again, so that every day you have a voice reminding you you are far more than you ever thought. And if you know a man who is lost, blaming himself, doubting his worth, send this video to him. Sometimes just one message at the right time can save an entire life from silently falling apart. Do not leave without leaving a sign of awakening. Do not watch and forget. Do not let change stop at a fleeting emotion. You heard this story for a reason. It came at the exact moment you needed it most. Now, it is your turn to take a step.